These three Old Testament symbols reveal Mary's secret weapons against demons. You know demons are real. You know they're trying to destroy you. You know spiritual warfare is happening all around you even if you can't see it. But what if I told you that Mary has three specific weapons from the Old Testament that are so powerful, demons literally flee when they see them? What if these ancient symbols reveal exactly how Mary defeats hell and protects those who turn to her? Today we're diving into three powerful images of Mary that Saint Alphonsus Liguori discovered in the Old Testament: the vine, the cedar, and the Ark of the Covenant. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand why Mary is described as terrible to the powers of hell and how you can access that terrifying power for your own protection. But here's the problem most Christians face in spiritual warfare. They feel powerless. They're getting attacked by temptation, by darkness, by spiritual forces they can't see or control. They try to fight on their own and they keep losing. They don't realize that God gave them a powerful ally, a weapon so effective that demons run away just from the smell of it. They don't realize that Mary is described in Scripture as an army in battle array, terrible to the powers of hell. Saint Alphonsus Liguori wrote extensively about Mary's power over demons. He studied the Old Testament looking for images and symbols that would help us understand her role. And what he found was stunning. These aren't just nice poetic comparisons. These are revelations of spiritual reality. These symbols teach us exactly how Mary operates in the spiritual realm and how we can benefit from her protection. Let's start with the first image. Mary is terrible to demons. The Song of Songs describes someone as terrible as an army in battle array. The Church applies this to Mary. She's terrible to the powers of hell. She's like an entire army arrayed for battle. But what does this mean? Saint Alphonsus explains that Mary knows how to array her power, her mercy, and her prayers to defeat her enemies and benefit her servants who turn to her in temptation. Think about those three things: power, mercy, and prayers. Mary arrays them strategically like a general positioning troops for maximum effectiveness. Her power comes from her unique relationship with God. She's the Mother of God. She's the Queen of Heaven. She has authority in the spiritual realm that no other created being possesses. When she commands, even demons must listen. Her mercy means she uses this power for good. She's not destructive or vengeful. She's a mother protecting her children. Her mercy motivates her to help anyone who calls on her, no matter how weak or sinful they are. Her prayers are incredibly effective. Jesus listens to his mother. We saw this at the wedding at Cana. Mary's intercession moves God to act. When she prays for you, things happen. And she knows how to array these three things: power, mercy, and prayers, for the defeat of her enemies and the benefit of her servants. She's strategic. She's effective. She's terrible to demons because they know they can't win against her. Now let's look at the first specific Old Testament image: the vine. In the book of Ecclesiasticus, also called Sirach, chapter 24, verse 23, the Holy Spirit has Mary speak these words: "As the vine, I have brought forth a pleasant odor." Saint Bernard, one of the greatest saints and theologians in church history, commented on this passage. He said that all venomous reptiles fly from flowering vines. This was common knowledge in his time. Snakes and other poisonous creatures avoid areas where vines are blooming because they can't stand the smell. And Saint Bernard makes the connection. Just as poisonous reptiles fly from flowering vines, demons fly from souls in whom they perceive the perfume of devotion to Mary. This is huge. This tells us that devotion to Mary is like a fragrance that repels demons. They literally can't stand to be around it. Think about what this means practically. When you develop devotion to Mary, when you pray to her regularly, when you honor her and ask for her help, you start to give off a spiritual fragrance. You start to smell like Mary to the spiritual realm. And demons can't stand that smell. They flee from you. This isn't superstition. This isn't folklore. This is spiritual reality that the saints understood. Devotion to Mary creates an atmosphere that demons find intolerable. They can't operate effectively around someone who smells like Mary. The perfume of Mary and devotion drives them away. So if you're being attacked spiritually, if you're struggling with temptation, if you feel like demons are harassing you, develop devotion to Mary, pray the rosary daily, ask for her protection, honor her in your life, and you'll start giving off that pleasant odor, that perfume that makes demons flee. But notice it says flowering vines and pleasant odor. Your devotion to Mary needs to be alive, active, blooming. It can't be dead or dormant. A dead vine doesn't give off fragrance. A dead devotion doesn't repel demons. Your relationship with Mary needs to be living and growing. When you pray the rosary, don't just rush through it mechanically. Pray with love. Pray with attention. Let your devotion bloom like a flowering vine. When you ask Mary for help, do it with real trust and affection. Let your relationship with her be vibrant and alive. That's when the pleasant odor becomes strongest. That's when demons flee most quickly. Now let's look at the second image, the cedar. In the same book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 24, verse 17, Mary says, "I was exalted like a cedar." Cedar trees were highly valued in the ancient world. The temple in Jerusalem was built with cedar from Lebanon. Cedar was expensive, beautiful, and special. But Cardinal Hugo of St. Cher points out two specific reasons why Mary is compared to a cedar. First, she was untainted by sin. Just as cedar wood is incorruptible, cedar doesn't rot. It doesn't decay. You can bury it in the ground and it remains intact. Ancient civilizations used cedar for things they wanted to last forever because cedar is naturally resistant to decay. Mary is spiritually incorruptible. Sin is like spiritual decay, spiritual rot. But Mary was preserved from original sin from the moment of her conception. She never sinned in her entire life. She's completely pure, completely incorruptible, like cedar wood that never decays. This is important because it means Mary can't be corrupted by evil. Demons can't touch her. They can't taint her. They can't compromise her. She's absolutely pure and will remain pure forever. She's incorruptible cedar. But there's a second reason for the comparison, and this one is even more relevant for spiritual warfare. Cardinal Hugo says that just as cedar keeps away moths by its fragrance, Mary by her sanctity drives away demons. Cedar has a strong, distinctive smell. Moths and other insects that destroy fabric and stored goods can't stand the smell of cedar. That's why people use cedar chests to store clothes and blankets. The cedar fragrance protects against destruction. Mary's sanctity works the same way. Her holiness, her purity, her perfection, it all creates a spiritual fragrance that demons find unbearable. They can't stand to be near her. They can't stand to be near anyone who's close to her. Her sanctity drives them away just like cedar fragrance drives away moths. So when you're close to Mary, when you're under her protection, you're surrounded by that cedar fragrance. Demons can't get to you easily. They're repelled by her sanctity. You're protected not by your own holiness, most of us aren't that holy, but by her holiness. You're protected by the fragrance of her sanctity. This is why consecrating yourself to Mary is so powerful. This is why wearing a scapular or a miraculous medal matters. These aren't magic charms. They're signs that you belong to Mary, that you're under her protection, that you're close to her. And that closeness surrounds you with her sanctity like cedar fragrance that drives away destructive forces. Now let's look at the third and most powerful image, the Ark of the Covenant. This is one of the most famous Marian symbols in the Old Testament. The Ark was the most sacred object in ancient Israel. It contained three things: the tablets of the 10 Commandments, Aaron's rod that budded, and the jar of manna from the wilderness. The Ark represented God's presence with his people. Where the Ark was, God was. The Ark led the Israelites through the wilderness. The Ark was carried before them in battle, and the Ark brought them victory. Saint Alphonsus points to the book of Numbers, chapter 10, verse 35. When the Ark was lifted up, Moses would say, "Arise, O Lord, and let your enemies be scattered." The Ark meant victory. Enemies were scattered when the Ark appeared. Battles were won when the Ark was present. And Saint Alphonsus says clearly, this Ark was a foreshadowing of Mary. Just as manna was in the Ark, Jesus is in Mary. Manna was bread from heaven that sustained Israel in the wilderness. Jesus is the true bread from heaven who sustains us. The old Ark held a symbol. Mary held the reality. And just as Israel gained victories through the Ark, we gain victories over our enemies through Mary. Saint Bernardin of Siena makes this explicit. When Mary, the Ark of the New Covenant, was raised to the dignity of Queen of Heaven, the power of hell over men was weakened and dissolved. This is incredible. Mary's coronation as Queen of Heaven weakened hell's power over humanity. When she was exalted, demons lost power. Her elevation diminished their authority. This isn't just poetic language. This is spiritual reality. Mary in heaven has authority over demons. They must obey when she commands. They must flee when she orders them away. They cannot operate freely when she's protecting someone. Her queenship means she has real power in the spiritual realm, and demons know it. So when you invoke Mary, when you ask for her protection, you're not just asking for prayers. You're activating her authority as queen. You're bringing the Ark of the New Covenant into your battle. You're scattering your enemies just like Moses scattered Israel's enemies when the Ark was lifted up. This is why so many saints recommend the Rosary for spiritual warfare. This is why exorcists invoke Mary's help. This is why demons hate Marian devotion so much. Because Mary is the Ark, and where she is present, enemies are scattered and victories are won. Think about how all three images work together. Mary is the vine whose flowering fragrance drives away venomous reptiles. She's the cedar whose sanctity repels destructive forces. She's the Ark whose presence scatters enemies and brings victory. Each image teaches us something about how she operates in spiritual warfare. The vine teaches us that devotion to her creates a protective fragrance. The cedar teaches us that her sanctity drives away evil. The Ark teaches us that her authority scatters demons and wins battles. So how do you access this power? How do you benefit from Mary being the vine, the cedar, and the Ark? First, develop real devotion to Mary. Don't just know about her. Have an actual relationship with her. Pray to her daily. Talk to her. Ask for her help. Honor her in your life. This creates the flowering vine fragrance that repels demons. Second, stay close to her. Consecrate yourself to her. Wear her scapular. Carry her miraculous medal. These aren't superstitious objects. They're signs of your closeness to her. And that closeness surrounds you with her sanctity, with that cedar fragrance that drives away evil. Third, invoke her in spiritual warfare. When you're being tempted, when you're being attacked, when you feel spiritual oppression, call on Mary. Ask her to exercise her authority as queen. Ask her to be the Ark that scatters your enemies. Pray, "Arise, O Queen, and let my enemies be scattered." The demons know Mary's power. They experience it directly. They flee from her fragrance. They're repelled by her sanctity. They're scattered by her authority. And when you invoke her protection, you access all of that power. Saint Alphonsus wrote about all of this because he wanted people to understand how powerful Mary is against evil. He wanted them to stop trying to fight spiritual battles alone. He wanted them to turn to the ally God gave them, Mary, who is terrible to the powers of hell, who is like an army in battle array. You don't have to be a great saint to access this protection. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to turn to Mary, develop devotion to her, and ask for her help. The vine will bloom. The cedar fragrance will surround you. The Ark will scatter your enemies. These aren't just beautiful poetic images. These are revelations of spiritual reality. Mary really is like a flowering vine whose fragrance drives away venomous creatures. She really is like incorruptible cedar whose sanctity repels evil. She really is like the Ark whose presence brings victory. And all of this power, all of this protection, all of this victory is available to you right now. You just have to invoke her. You just have to ask. You just have to develop that devotion that makes you smell like her to the spiritual realm. The demons are terrified of Mary. She's terrible to them like an army in battle array. And when you're under her protection, they have to be terrified of you too. Not because of your own power, but because you carry her fragrance. You're surrounded by her sanctity. You're protected by the Ark. So stop fighting spiritual battles alone. Stop trying to resist temptation by sheer willpower. Stop feeling powerless against demonic attacks. Turn to Mary. Let her be your vine, your cedar, your Ark. Let her array her power, her mercy, and her prayers for your benefit. Let her scatter your enemies and win your battles. Because that's what she does. That's who she is. She's the vine, the cedar, the Ark. She's terrible to demons and protective of her children. And you're one of her children. All you have to do is ask for her help. Subscribe if Mary is your weapon in spiritual warfare.